Here we are yet again with a game, honestly, I didn't think I would ever cover again. So Wayfinder, almost a year old now, as we all know, came out in August of last year to a horrendous launch. The servers just could not handle the intake and the game struggled for a good few weeks. And then after that, it just kind of kept going downhill. There were performance issues, optimization issues, there were server issues. There are a lot of issues that the game needed to sort of resolve to get to a decent point. And then lo and behold, Digital Extremes pulled out of publishing, and all of a sudden Airship Syndicate just didn't have anyone to publish the game anymore. So they were like, right, fine, I guess we'll just have to do it ourselves. Now, why Digital Extremes stopped publishing the game, we don't know. It's behind closed doors. It's something we'll never know. Only the people that actually run the game and Digital Extremes will have any idea on. Supposedly it's because Digital Extremes wanted to focus more on Warframe and their titles, but again, we'll never know. But Wayfinder, pretty much since Christmas, has been going through this awful transitional period of being handed over to Airship Syndicate, and it's just not been a great time for anyone, because it meant that they couldn't make money on the game, they couldn't sell the game, they couldn't really do anything to the game, and it just kind of left it in this weird stagnation. And finally, sort of near the start of May, we got confirmation that Wayfinder will still be being worked on, but it will be in a completely different capacity. And as it turns out, they have pulled a 180 on the whole co-op MMO side of things with Wayfinder, and instead they've made it more of a single player focused RPG with, you know, co-op as an option if you so desire. You have to invite people to a party, and I don't have any friends to play Wayfinder with, so I can't test it myself, but that is the option. But now the game is more, I'd say, similar to Diablo. You pretty much just play the game endlessly to grind and get loot and stuff, and this is Wayfinder Echoes. It is a complete rehaul of the game. It is no longer online. It is now an offline focused game, and unfortunately what this means is all of your online progress has been completely reset, which when the first time I saw it, stung a little bit, because I did spend a good amount of time building up my account in the preparation of when the game would be a lot more improved, shall we say. But unfortunately, due to just how much they've had to fix and change, bringing your account over just wasn't an option, unfortunately, and it sucks, but there's nothing that can be done about it. So I wasn't initially gonna play the game. I was gonna give it a bit more time, because I didn't have it in me to do all of that work grinding again. But I've been playing a little bit. I've only played like half an hour, so there's a lot of stuff I've not gotten into the nitty gritty of. But honestly, so far, very impressed. So there's new content, new systems. The overall gameplay is still exactly the same, but it performs much better. Not being linked to a server means it can run so much smoother, which is lovely. If one day they decide to stop supporting the game, you never have to worry about it being shut off. I love when games have this as an option. Obviously, this was their only option, but I'm glad they actually went and did it instead of just being like, well, it didn't work, so suck it. Unfortunately, for founders like myself, it's not an ideal situation, because some people did spend around $100 to get the ultimate founder pack. And what we are given are these founder tokens, which can be exchanged for items that only founders can acquire. So there's like a little pup turtle thing. There's a mount as well. But yeah, I'll have it on in the background, I'm sure. But there's some things that only founders can acquire if you've already had the founder pass. Along with that, you also do get your founders items, I do believe. So for example, I have the Charger's Sickle, the Storm Song, and the Arc Bolt, which is what came with my version of the founders pack I bought. And I imagine if you bought the higher up tiers, you would get those versions as well, like Heroic Kairos. Unfortunately, I can't test that myself. So I should also have a mount, but it doesn't show up. That might just be because I've not done the mount quest yet. So there is mounts in the game now. For the longest time, they said mounting will be coming, it will be coming, and then all of this happened, and now the game is now offline, and it looks like they've finally managed to add some of these systems to the game. So obviously, along with the massive overhaul of how the game works in general, there's just so many changes. So they've added new weapons, they've added new content. There's a brand new Wayfinder now as well. So in our character collection, you have the 6 we already had before, and then we have the new character Grendel. On top of that, we have 2 reward towers currently. We only had the one beforehand. Now we have Grendel's. So this will be how you get Grendel's memories and whatnot to acquire him. So if you play the game, you know what to expect. Currently, the game is not available for sale. I think it's June 11th. They are opening the game back out to sale on Steam. And then I think it's the end of June or end of July, PlayStation 5 members will be able to purchase the game again, if I'm not mistaken, or play the game again. I can't quite recall off the top of my head. I will try and find a screen grab somewhere to put in the video. Unfortunately, it does mean for PS4 users, you are getting shafted a little bit, and the game just is not going to be available on PS4 anymore, which absolutely sucks for people still playing on the PS4. I don't know what percentage their player base was for the PlayStation 4, but I'm sure whoever out there did play on the PS4. It's not a great feeling to hear. But moving on from the negativities, overall, I am just glad the game has survived. Don't get me wrong, I was very frustrated during launch and during these past few months where the game just wasn't making any progress due to the loss of their publisher, but I'm just really glad the game has some kind of future now rather than just another dead MMO that will never be able to play ever again. Because I do enjoy the gameplay, and especially with the new systems. So the way the new systems work is you can pretty much just acquire anything you had to farm for before. The game kind of just hands you as loot now. So accessories were pretty standard. We always got these as drops. That's nothing special. However, now you can unlock styles through loot drops. So when you killed something, sometimes it will drop a little cube. You can pick it up and you might get an item. So for instance, this is your default, I believe. This I found in a loot drop. So you acquire pretty much everything through loot drops now. Same with skins. The Elegy skin I got accidentally by opening a chest. So skins are completely acquirable through gameplay. I love this new feature. It's really nice to just be given skins randomly as you're playing. It really encourages you to, go out and grind for the stuff you want. I think it's fun. On top of that, weapons are now obtainable through drops. So for instance, the Tempest never managed to build previously because it was just far too much and far too expensive to build. Now it's just a loot drop. So during any run, you could get any number of weapons onto your account, and you can just pick and choose whichever one you want at the drop of a hat. It is lovely. Echoes is pretty standard affair, but now you can only equip the echoes that fit the symbol. So you used to be able to fit any echo on any symbol. Now it looks like you can only put the ones that fit that particular icon. I think it makes it easier. By the looks of things, echo, fusion is still the same. The ecosystem still seems to be fairly similar to what we're used to. Weapons now have an awakening of 5, and I think Wayfinders might have the same, or it might be free. I'm not 100% sure. I'm clearly not far enough into the game. You can awaken weapons now. It seems to be far cheaper than it was beforehand and a lot less grindy. Honestly, since moving away from the whole online aspect of the game, they've just made it a whole lot less grindy, and they've kind of just turned the game into not exactly Diablo-like, but some of the same systems of endlessly running dungeons for loot to improve your character and, getting resources and whatnot. Quite frankly, it's something the game clearly needed. Sadly, the online component of the game, with how rough the launch was and how dwindling the player base was, and just, it's been a rough year for Airship Syndicate, and I'm sure pushing out this update was incredibly stressful, and I can completely understand why some people would feel, a bit of a rug pull, considering that it was advertised as one thing and it's ended up as something completely different. I understand the pain and I sympathize. As someone that only paid for the second tier, I'm not too upset. Honestly, considering that the only other option probably would have been to shut the game down, I'm going to take the offline version, and the offline version runs so much smoother not being connected to a server. So while it isn't an ideal situation, I think the game is vastly improved as a result of it. So now you kind of just have to decide when it comes out for purchase. Does it look fun to you? I think so. I think it's a fun little game. I don't think I'm going to be spending a massive ton of time on it, but it's nice to know that it should now be getting consistent content as it goes along. And I'll be honest, I've played the game on my Steam Deck a fair amount. I've really enjoyed playing the game on my Steam Deck, and I'm probably going to continue to do so. So, no complaints here. Fair play, Airship Syndicate. You were dealt a pretty rough hand. Hopefully, this is a decent turning point. Again, sucks to see that the original view couldn't be achieved, but, you know, as an alternative, this is pretty good. I might give it some more time and then make another one of these just to see how I feel about the game a bit more into its life. But for now, I'm happy with where it currently sits. With that, I'm going to say my goodbyes. What do you think of the game? Have you given it a try? Are you going to? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to know what everyone thinks about it. With that though, I'm going to say my goodbyes. Thank you for those that stuck around to the end. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all of that good stuff. I've been James, the Mayor of Jamestown, and until next time, goodbye.